Today I took one trade on NQ. We're going to go over why I took the trade and the reasoning for my bias. So, the reason I took this trade is because we had two up close candles here, 1, 2, and then we closed down below them here, forming our order block and beginning the change in state of delivery. And we can see this here is two up close candles, but then if we go to M and Q here, we can see that one of the candles was down close, but we follow NQ, right? So my rule is that I can only take my trade after the first 15 minutes have elapsed. So we created the order block here, and then I was allowed to take my trade at 9:45, hence giving me a higher risk to reward because I entered on based off like time constraints. But then this can also work against me where, let's say, market had already started moving way past this order block, and then my risk to reward widens and becomes less. So here I was basically able to subtract it down by 3 and increase a multiple of 3 in my risk to reward, giving me 9.4, 9.5 R on this trade. And proof of my trade. Here, I took this trade on my phone because I was busy during the day and I had life stuff going on and I couldn't really be behind my computer, thus took the trade on my phone. So I took this trade down to this 1 hour low here because we had been chopping around and I was looking for the next highest point of liquidity that we have, and that was the 1 hour here. So here you can see I closed my trade after we smacked the TP of the 1 hour, and then I ended up closing the rest of my trade. I was supposed to let this run, but I didn't because I basically just wanted to capture the majority of my profits at this point, which is not a good thing to do. But I digress. We're going to go into why I was bearish today. So coming into today, the thing I was looking at was the weekly for VI gap. So we had this weekly for VI gap right here that we formed. So why didn't I use this weekly for VI gap? The reason I didn't use this weekly for VI gap is because I use for VI gaps that are fresh. So when we first get into them, right? When we first get into them, they're the strongest then, and then that's when I want to use it. So in face value, when we come into the fair value gap, we expect it to bounce off. But if you don't get that, then we have to go under the microscope and see what's going on behind this candle, right? So if we go down to the daily, we'll take a look. If we see anything, right, we're looking for sweeps and trades into new fair value gaps. So here we swept this low the previous day before that, and then now we're looking at this August 19th daily candle. So did we trade into new for value gaps? Nope. Did we sweep anything on this August 19 candle? Nope, absolutely nothing. So that means we're going to have to go under the microscope even more and look into what's happening there. So it's a little bit different when it comes to the 12 hour because on the 12 hour, we can use the previous day 12 a.m. or the present day 6 p.m. candle to derive a bias we want for the next candle, right? So the reason we can use the 6 a.m. is because if we think about it in terms of regular trading hours, the a.m. will set the tone for what's going to happen on the next a.m., right? Because there's no p.m. trading during regular trading hours. So that's why I'm able to use the bias of the previous day a.m. for the next a.m. session here. And if something happens that's crazy during the 6 p.m. candle here, then I'll use that to drive the bias for the next candle. Right, so we were bearish on this candle, meaning I'm going to look for a continuation of this bias here onto this candle. So when we're doing continuation trades, what I really like to do is use an intermediate time frame like the 15-minute to look for a continuation. So again, we're looking for sweeps and trades into fair value gaps. So we swept this 15-minute high, but we ended up closing bullishly on it. But then we traded into this 15-minute right there. And as you can see, we closed bearishly. And in this wick here, this is where we had our CISD, and we entered within that wick here, stop loss at the top, targeting this 1 hour low right here. And as you can see, while we're in this trade, we were trailing on the 15-minute. So that would be this high, this high, this high, and ultimately it would have been stopped out here, but I prematurely closed my trade. So overall, I think today was a pretty good trading day. I'm happy that I was patient through all of this here. It's retracing up, coming down, retracing. This was very bad price action. This is something we probably don't want to be trading on a daily basis. And one thing I want to do better is not having this scarcity mindset I have while trading. I mean, this is something that I don't do often, and I don't like that happened today, because usually what happens, I just hold my trade regardless of what happens. And yeah, me closing the trade basically shows that I don't trust my system, and I think this was a flash in the pan trade. This doesn't happen a lot, but that's not the way I want to be going about this, right? So yeah, today was a good trading day, and we took something away from it regardless of what the P&L was showing. So yeah, that's it for me. Good luck and good trading.